we have showed that the relation is an equivalence relation. So that relation, it was defined on the set of integers. Now what I am doing is dividing that set of integers into certain parts, such that each part is satisfying that relation. So this part is also satisfying this relation, this part is also satisfying the relation, this part is also satisfying the relation. So each part is also satisfying the relation, and each parts are mutually disjoint. So these are disjoint. If I compare any of these two parts, means there is no common element from these two parts. Or if I take any of these two parts, means there is no common element. If I take these two parts, means there is no common element from any of the parts. So the thing, what is the agenda, what I am doing next is, I have considered the set of integers. Now I am dividing that set of integers into certain parts. So suppose if I divide that into certain parts, means then those parts are mutually disjoint, and each part also satisfies that relation. That is, that relation is equivalence relation. So each part is also an equivalence relation, and each parts are mutually disjoint from one another. So how I am dividing now that set of integers into the certain part? The first part how I am dividing is even integers containing 0. The first part how I divided that set of integers is even integers containing 0. So the elements which is containing in these parts are 0 plus or comma plus or minus 2, 0 comma plus or minus 4, 0 comma plus or minus 6, and so on. So all these are even integers containing 0. So this is one of the part. Another part how I am dividing is odd integers containing 1. So how the elements of that will be there? 1 comma plus or minus 3, 1 comma plus or minus 5, 1 comma plus or minus 7, and so on. So this is how I have divided. Now you can see here there is no common element. If I take this one as this one, there is no common element. So these two sets are mutually disjoint. And if you take any two element, any one of the ordered pair from this one of the set, if I take from this set, that is 0 comma 2, means this satisfies that relation. So what was that the relation they have given? A comma B such that 2 divides A minus B. Suppose if I take 0 comma 2 means, so what does that imply? 0 minus 2. So 0 minus 2 is minus 2 itself. So 2 divides minus 2. If I take 0 comma plus 4 means what happens? 0 comma plus 4 belongs to this relation, means what happens? 2 divides 0 minus 4, that is 0 minus 4 is minus 4. So 2 divides minus 4. Yes, it is true. Suppose if I take any of the element from this one, that is 1 comma 3. So 1 comma 3 means what? If it belongs to that relation, means what does that implies? 2 divides 1 minus 3. 1 minus 3 is what? Minus 2. So 2 divides minus 2. Yes, 2 divides minus 2. So if I take any of the ordered pair from any of the set, means that satisfies the given relation. And you can see that these two relations are mutually disjoint. So here this part, it is starting with the 0. So I am representing that with the class like 0, and here all the elements are starting with the 1. I am representing it with the 1, and we call this one as an so for this one I will write it here. I will call this one as an equivalence class containing 0, which is denoted as 0, which is represented within the square bracket, and to this one I will write as equivalence class containing 1, and I represent it as 1. So this is equal to equivalence containing 0. This is denoted as the is equal to 2r, because the rest of the elements all are divisible by 2, so it is represented as 2r. So 1 means the rest of the elements of the sets, it is defined it as 2r plus 1. So 2r plus 1, all the rest of the elements. So the equivalence class 1 is equal to 2r plus 1. Now you can see here properly that each classes are mutually disjoint. There is no common element. If we take one element from this one and another element from this one, it is not at all going to satisfy the relation. So each class are mutually disjoint, and each class satisfies the given relation, and it is represented with this class. So now this is called as an equivalence class containing 0, and this is called as an equivalence class containing 1. So now with this example, now let us understand the definition clearly. So what was the definition saying? Let R be the equivalence relation in the arbitrary set X. So here in this example was also the R was the relation on the arbitrary set. Here was the set of integer. Here in our example, arbitrary set was set of integers. R was the relation. Later what they have did, the relation R divides X into a mutually disjoint subset AI. Yes, that relation R on the set of integers divided into mutually disjoint subset, that is set of even number containing 0 and odd number containing 1. It has divided into two mutual disjoint subsets which we have seen, such that all elements of AI are related to each other. Suppose if I call set of even as A1 and set of odd as A2, means you can see that all elements which are belonging to the set of even integers containing 0, those all elements are related to each other. I have showed you how they are related to each other. And all elements containing the odd numbers, another part, that is all elements in the A2, that is odd numbers containing 1, that also related to each other. That is what the first statement is saying. All elements of AI are related to each other. Then next, no elements of AI is related to any elements of AJ, where I is not equal to J. So none of the elements which is belonging to the set of even integers containing 0 is related to the odd integers containing 1. So they are mutually disjoint. That is what they are saying here. No elements of AI is related to the any elements AJ, where AI and J are not equal. So where I in 1 and 2 is not equal. That is what they are saying. The next is union of AJ is equal to X. That is, if I take the union of these two sets in that example, means we are going to get whole set of integers, and if I take the intersection of those two sets, that is A1 intersection A2, means our intersection will be the empty set. So that is what they are saying. Suppose if it is divided into three parts, means if I take the intersection of any two sets, means the intersection will be always empty. So if it satisfies what we have divided, mutually disjoint subsets, where our integer was divided into mutually subsets AI. If this AI satisfies these three conditions, means then that subset is called as an equivalence class. That only I said equivalence class containing 0 and equivalence class containing 1, because these two equivalence class satisfied all these three conditions. Therefore then that subset AI is called as an equivalence class. So clearly equivalence class, it is nothing but where if R is the equivalence relation on an arbitrary set X, means then if that relation divides the arbitrary set X into mutually disjoint subset with AI, means, and those mutually disjoint subsets satisfies these three conditions, means then those mutually disjoint subsets are called as equivalence class. This is what the equivalence class is saying. So that was I said in the brief manner. Suppose the same equivalence class example or the situation if I am explaining in the form of a set, means where again I am considering the set of integers. Now suppose if I am dividing this set of integers into three subdivisions, so that the first subdivision X belonging to set of integers, so that X is a multiple of 3, means what are those elements? So that is nothing but 3, 6, 9, so on, and here it becomes with 0, 3, -3, -6, so on. So these are the elements which are coming under this subdivision A1. A2, that is x minus 1 is a multiple of 3 means if I take it as 1 means 1 minus 1 0, so 0 is a multiple of 3, yes. And if I take 4 means 4 minus 1 it is 3, 3 is a multiple of 3. Suppose if I take 7, 7 minus 1 it is 6, 6 is a multiple of 3. So like this the positive integers. Negative integer means minus 2, minus 2 minus 1 is minus 3, minus 3 is a multiple of 3. And then if I take minus 5, minus 5 minus 1 it is minus 6, so it is a multiple of 3. So it will continues in the negative direction. So this is the positive direction and this one is the negative direction. So these are the elements which are coming under the subdivision A2. Again similarly x minus 2 is a multiple of 3. So if I take 2 means 2 minus 2 it is 0, 0 is a multiple of 3. Suppose if I take 5 means 5 minus 2 it is 3, it is a 3 is a multiple of 3. If I take 8, 8 minus 2 it is 6, 6 is a multiple of 3, so on from the positive direction. Suppose if I take minus 1, minus 1 minus 2 minus 3 it is a multiple of 3, and minus 4 minus 2 it will become minus 6, it is a multiple of 3. So if I continue in like this manner it will be the negative. You can see here clearly that each elements from the A1, A2, A3, all the elements in the A1 it is satisfying this condition, all the elements in the A2 satisfying this condition, all the elements in the A3 satisfying this condition. But here all the three conditions, that is A1, A2, A3, the relation defines are different. By combining these three definition, I can define generally a relation R on set of integers has R is equal to A comma B such that 3 divides A minus B, right? 3 divides A minus B by clubbing these three. So in the beginning what we had given a relation and then we have divided into sub parts. Suppose if I start with the sub part, the reverse part of that, then I define a general relation means even this also satisfies the equivalence class definition. That is what I am going to say with this example. So now you can see that each classes A1, A2, A3, all these classes satisfying this condition, all these classes are mutually disjoint. If I take the union of all these three, we are going to get the set of integer. If I take any intersection of any two set, it is a mutual disjoint. So you can say that now A1 it is a class of 0 containing 0, A2 it is a class containing 1, and A3 it is a class containing 2. So I can write so whatever the elements of A1 it will be there, it will be in the form of 0 comma plus or minus 3, 0 comma plus or minus 6, so on. So how I can write now the second element that has 3R. Next, equivalence class containing 1, that can be written as 1 comma, you can see here 1 comma, not plus or minus here coming, 1 comma 4, 1 comma 7, 1 comma minus 2, 1 comma minus 5, like that. You can see here 1 comma 4 means what happens, 1 minus 4 it is minus 3, 3 divides minus 3. 1 comma 7 means 1 minus 7, it is minus 6, so 3 divides minus 6. 1 comma minus 2 means 1 minus of minus 2, 1 plus 3, so 1 plus 2 it is 3, so 3 divides 3, like that the relation. So 3 divides 3. So this is how the A2 will be. So I can write the second term of this relation, it has 3R plus 1. Similarly A3 elements, the classes of A3, it can be written as 2 comma 5, 2 comma 8, 2 comma minus 1, so on. You can check like this as I checked for A2. So the second elements of the class A2 it can be written as 3R plus 2. So now A1, A2, A3 with the class of 0, class of 1, class of 2 are the equivalence class because it is satisfying the condition of all the three conditions of equivalence class. So clearly the main agenda what I was to say in this example is So in our previous example, while I am doing this one, they have already given one relation, right? They had given one relation, and I have splitted our set of integers into two parts, and such that those two parts was going to satisfying the same relation. But the reverse of this one I have did. What is the reverse of that? I have taken already from the set of integers, I have divided the integers into three parts, such that three part is satisfying something different. Here x is multiple of 3, x minus 1 is multiple of 3, here is x minus 2 is multiple of 3, something which was different. By looking into these three different relation, I clubbed that relation into one relation, such that and defined that one relation R on the set of integers as R is equal to a comma b, such that 3 divides a minus b. Even after combining these three relation into one relation, even this relation is also satisfying the all the three groups which we have divided, a1, a2, a3. so if these three groups also satisfying this relation, you can see here how that a1, a2, a3 becomes when I have defined this relation. So according to this relation, if I have written a1, a2, a3 means it will be in this form. So even these three groups also satisfying this relation, and I have written that a1, a2, a3 subdivisions into the equivalence class. So now a1, a2, a3 satisfying that equivalence relation, and this is how a1, a2, a3 becomes the equivalence class. The reverse of the equivalence class definition is shown with this example. So this is what the equivalence class is saying. So this is the explanation regarding the equivalence class. So I'll finish up to here in this video, so that you can clearly understand what is equivalence class. If you didn't get, please go back and rewind it and understand it properly. So the problem based on the equivalence class and rest of the equivalence relations, we can solve it in the next video. Thank you, students.